After Tangsan and the others successfully finished their first exam, Donghua Bosai appeared at that place and praised those who had succeeded. Bosai then said that Rong and Zhuqing would receive a God-given ring which would become their seventh ring. The golden light instantly enveloped Rong and Zhuqing. While they both absorbed the ring, Donghua Bosai tells the others to face their second test. After saying that, Bosai disappeared. When they were cultivating, the sea of rings seemed to be rumbling and turbulent. From the sea of rings appeared 7 golden lights which then shot to the temple of the sea god. The 7 lights then merged and spread into the ring sea to form a golden light like a barrier and appeared on the surface of the ring sea. Sensing the incident, those who were cultivating instantly woke up. Mubai said, breaking through the ring blockade without harming the sea creatures. It's the second test this time. Oscar, Mahangjun and others nodded their heads the same way. Only Tangsan is different. He said that he was not allowed to use any spirit rings during the second test. Hearing Tenzan's words, they were shocked. Mubai says that Tangsan can't use his 7th ring which is his avatar. It's just ridiculous. Mahangjun said, take it easy. Doesn't Tangsan still have vast sea cosmic? Don't forget, because of vast sea cosmic we can get to Sea God Island. Mahangjun's words seem reasonable and make others excited again. But when Tangsan said that he had tried to use his vast sea cosmic and failed, they looked surprised. Oscar said, take it easy, it doesn't seem too difficult. The distance to break through the sea ring and reach that place is not too far. Mubai became curious and said that he wanted to immediately try to break through the sea ring. But a hand stopped him and said, besides, the situation is not clear yet. Rong and Zhuqing are still cultivating absorbing their 7th ring. No one knew how great their avatars would be when they finished absorbing their 7th ring. Moments later, Rong and Zhuqing finally managed to absorb their 7th ring. Rong said that her 7th ring was equivalent to a 50,000-year-old beast and her avatar was a 9-treasure pagoda. The avatar effect, when used, then Rong can save its energy and at the same time can increase all its abilities up to 80%. With this ability, the support she gives them will be able to last longer. But unfortunately, she also can't use her avatar like Tangsan. Rong then showed the color of her 7th ring which turned gray. They then asked Zhuqing if she could use her 7th ring. Zhuqing said she could. His avatar is a hell weasel and her speed is increased by 50%. When they asked Tangsan if there were any abilities he got after he reached the 333rd stair, Tangsan said there weren't any. But the sea god told him that his sea god's affinity had increased by 5%. Hearing the word sea god affinity, they didn't even understand and asked Tangsan if it was sea god affinity. But Tangsan didn't understand either. Tangsan then said that they would rest for 3 days. Hearing the word rest, Mubai became happy. With a perverted look, he then looked at Zhuqing and immediately invited her to rest. But when they were about to rest, Mahangjun suddenly stopped them. Mahangjun asked them to be witnesses. They looked confused by Mahangjun's attitude, but when Mahangjun looked at Bai Senqiang and told her if she had forgotten her promise, they finally understood. At that time, Bai Senqiang once said to Tangsan, if Tangsan made it to the 333rd ladder, then she would date the fat Mahangjun. Knowing that the fat man was demanding his promise, Bai Senqiang then said okay, she will give the fat man a chance now, but that doesn't mean dating. It depends on whether the fat man is able to conquer her. 3 days finally passed. Just as they were about to start practicing, Tangsan suddenly changed his mind and said to wait for Oscar or else Mahangjun would get their 7th ring. Their avatars must be surprising. Finally came the long-awaited moment when Donghua Bosai reappeared and said she would give Oscar the 7th ring. Hearing that, Oscar was happy and immediately sat down cross-legged. Rong's eyes seemed to want to cry seeing that important moment. Oscar finally managed to absorb his 7th ring. Surprisingly, after absorbing his 7th ring, Oscar seemed reluctant and embarrassed to show it. The incident continued for several days. until finally they couldn't take it anymore and went Oscar. After being pressured by the team, Oscar finally wanted to show it, but on the condition that they weren't allowed to laugh. After muttering to the gods, why was his fate so tragic, that Oscar took action. With a slightly crouched position, Oscar then spread his arms straight in front of his chest, both palms facing down. Seeing Oscar's funny posture, the team seemed amused from laughing. Oscar's next move was getting more and more hilarious. After saying the golden sausage flew straight up, Oscar then stopped with a strange posture. His left hand on the waist, his right hand straight forward and clenched with only one middle finger pointing forward, made them immediately excited and could no longer hold back laughter. Rong was so embarrassed to hug Xiaowu, didn't want to see him. Seeing the pea-sized sausage that appeared on the Oscar's middle finger, they continued to laugh at him. However, when Oscar revealed the ability of the golden sausage to fly straight up, the team was immediately stunned. Tangsan then asked Oscar whether the ability of the sausage to straighten up was. Oscar proudly said, if he eats it, then besides being able to make sausages in a short time, it will also increase all the effects of sausages by 30%. That means if they eat it, then their ability will increase up to 50%. Imagine if Mubai and Zhuqing fused into hell tigers and then ate the sausage straight up, then when combined with a rong pagoda, wouldn't they be a frightening threat even when faced with a sentient sword dolo? Hearing Oscar's words, they all looked dumbfounded. They were even more dumbfounded when Oscar said that because of the new sausage, he could also imitate Tangsan's abilities and use all of his abilities to 100%, only limited to 10 minutes. Likewise, if Mo Hongjun eats it, it's just that his ability is 90%, but it's already very good. Rong was excited about Oscar's new ability, but she asked Oscar what straight up meant. Hearing the word rong, Oscar was immediately taken aback, but his mind immediately went and said that he was so excited that he immediately said those words. Mubai asks Tangsan what if they try to break through the ring. See now, and Tangsan nods, but he will try first. Hearing the words, they were surprised. They were worried because Tangsan couldn't use his avatar. All of his ring abilities had been sealed. How could they not feel anxious? Tangsan then asked Oscar if his new sausage could be used for his domain and spirit bones. Oscar said no, only spirit rings could. Hearing this, Tangsan didn't lose heart and told them not to worry because he could still teleport and use his golden body. After saying that, Tangsan immediately dashed off with his ghost shadow steps, and in an instant he had reached the edge of the sea. With the flying ability of the spirit bone of his right leg, he immediately flew above the surface of the sea. At the same time, the blue-silver domain was also launched. When he was about to reach the golden barrier that was above the surface of the sea, suddenly the waves immediately turned incarnate like rains of bullets and hit the barricade, preventing him from breaking through the barrier. The glowing rong pagoda provides support to Tangsan. Rong was so shocked when she realized something was wrong. The energy given to Tangsan in the ring sea is reduced. In the ring sea, the effect of the pagoda is weakened. Meanwhile, the brunt of the waves made Tangsan plunged into the sea. Tangsan looked overwhelmed to keep up with his body in the sea. Before he could keep up with his body, a swarm of marlin fish suddenly appeared in front of him and surrounded him. In the water, the ghost shadow step and right leg's flying spirit bone flying ability were practically unusable. When the swarm of fish charged at the Tangsan, the Haitian hammer was launched. Its heavy weight finally pulled its body into the water, avoiding the sharp snout of the fish. Given the rule that it is not allowed to kill marine animals, Tangsan can only dodge the attack of the fish. When the fish attacked again, Tangsan swung his hammer in the water and immediately made the fish crash, and he then appeared on the surface of the water. Immediately the marlin fish changed their attack formation. After spreading, the fish then attacked Tangsan in groups. But the impact of Tangsan's hammer on the surface of the water threw them again. Seeing that the fish had not yet given up, Tangsan then used the full power of his hammer. A black light that was like lightning appeared and enveloped the hammer. When the hammer accompanied by lightning struck the water, the fish was instantly stung and flung and shrunken. They just circled around Tangsan, not daring to attack again. Seeing that they didn't attack again, Tangsan then moved forward towards the destination beach in front of him. Tangsan then teleported, but he looked annoyed because in the water his teleportation speed slowed down. When Tangsan was about to move forward, suddenly the water in front of him rippled along with a strange sound. Tangsan looked surprised and the marlin fish that had attacked him seemed to run away. The figure of a large white fish suddenly appeared from the sea. Before Tangsan could see it more clearly, suddenly a big wave hit him. Tangsan, who could no longer dodge, immediately fell back to the shore before. Seeing Tangsan crash back, the team immediately approached him. Mubai said that Tangsan had been attacked by a very large white shark. Mubai got curious and wanted to try it too. He and Tangsan then returned to the sea, but soon they were both thrown back out of the sea. When Mubai recounted the incident when he was at the sea, suddenly a large white figure appeared from the sea and floated above the sea. The figure of the white devil shark suddenly turned into a female figure. He is tall, has long bluish hair, bluish eyes with sexy curves. The woman then looked into Xiaowu. For some reason, after knowing the condition of Xiaowu's soulless body and spirit bones attached to Tangsan, the woman became angry. After saying that she was going to kill Tangsan, a figure immediately appeared in front of Tangsan.